It is 12th August 2024, a special day for youths all over the world. It is International Youth Day with a captivating theme, from clicks to progress. Youth digital pathways for sustainable development. Quite interesting, you will say. The power of youth and digital innovation on International Youth Day. Discover how young minds are harnessing technology to create sustainable solutions for all. Now, the central message that is clicks to progress highlights the importance, of digital skills, for young people, for them to accelerate that progress. Now, emphasizing the crucial contributions of young people to address world's most pressing challenges. So our discussion on Panaroma today will focus on Nigerian youth in the digital era and efforts by government to encourage youths in this digital journey. Andrew Abu, a youth activist, is on the wings to speak on this very important issue on the International Youth Day. Thank you for joining us on Panorama. I'm Ruth Aguele. Welcome. All right, let's begin from Port Harcourt, where we hear that an explosion at the Action People's Party Secretariat and the Rivers State Police Commissioner Tunde Disu has condemned the incident. There was an explosion there. He has condemned the incident, and our correspondent Kingsley Amajiri is there, but we'll join him in the course of the bulletin for an update on the situation. In other news, the Nigerian Immigration Service has launched formal investigation following the circulation of a video on social media showing a female traveler destroying a Nigerian standard passport at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Lagos. The individual involved has been identified as Favor Igiabo. In a statement, Public Relations Officer of the Nigerian Immigration Service, Kenneth Udo, says the Comptroller General of Immigration has directed that Favor Igiabo be invited for further investigation. If the allegations are substantiated, the statement notes that her action would constitute a breach of the Immigration Act 2015 as amended, and corresponding penalties will be applied. All right, we hear our correspondent Kingsley Amajiri is ready now for us in Port Harcourt. Kingsley, give us a situation where you are. We hear the explosion there that occurred at the Action Secretariat there, Action Party Secretariat.
Yeah, that is the situation here in Port Harcourt today. Of course, you could see the State Party Secretariat of Action People's Party. We gathered early this morning that a group of young men around about 1 a.m. this early morning and threw dynamite at the front of the complex, though it had recorded some structure there and we had a hole on the ground. But at the moment, the State Police Commissioner also visited before now to ascertain the be constituted to investigate and ascertain what will be its latest action. The national chairman of the APP also, who earlier spoke with journalists, expressed concern with the situation, the attack on the party secretary this early hours of the day. He is concerned that whatsoever might be the political differences should not result to going to the extent of throwing dynamite or violence on the other political party. Obviously, at the bottom line of this contention now is the upcoming local government election. We have reliably gathered that some aggrieved political parties or party faithful from other party lines are intending to cross over to this political party you see here, and that is also a factor that may have warranted this action this early hours of today. Port Harcourt today, but of course, party faithful also in conducting their activities. One key issue that the APP raised this morning that they had, if not for maybe they would have.
All right, Kinsley, thank you for that update. Apologize for the hitches there, with your signal. But we get the gist. Of course, investigation has kicked in, so we'll definitely get more report or insight into the incident as events unfold. Our correspondent there, Kinsley Amajiri from Port Harcourt. Following the marching order to troops by the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, in line with presidential directive to the military to secure pipelines in the Niger Delta, troops, we hear, have destroyed 58 illegal refining sites. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa had an exclusive visit to the sites in Bayelsa and Rivers states.
The heart of Africa's oil industry, Nigeria's exploration sites have for decades been under constant threat from oil theft and pipeline vandalism. This illicit activity is not only economic sabotage, but also impacts negatively on the environment. This over 35,000-litre cooking oven used for the illegal refining of petroleum products. It was discovered by the military along the Imo River. Criminal syndicates siphon crude oil illegally, causing massive losses for the government and oil companies. To combat these threats, the Nigerian military and other security agencies, in line with the Chief of Defense Staff's directives, adopted drastic measures to protect the country's valuable natural resources.
As at yesterday, we have discovered over 22 illegal connections. We have destroyed over 58 illegal refineries. We have handled upward of 500,000 litres of crude oil and illegally refined products.
These renewed operations include enhanced surveillance, intelligence gathering, and coordinated raids on oil bunkering sites.
More enlightenment to community, the benefit they attend to be accruable to them. Because if do not understand that through that mechanism, they'll be able to be accommodated, they will continue to engage with the saboteurs that engage in breaching our pipelines.
The fight against oil theft is upscaled, while measures need to be adopted to curb the alleged smuggling in the offshore. This is one of the recently vandalized pipes along the flow line in Amoma local government area in Rivers State. And here are products siphoned from the line. From Amoma in Rivers State, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
Today is International Youth Day. What are some of the efforts by the government, talking about Nigeria, and the expectations from the youth? Let's see that.
During the National Youth Policy meeting in 2019, it was agreed that a youth in Nigeria is a person between 18 to 29 years. Today, Nigeria can boast of one of the youngest populations in the world, with over 60% citizens under the age of 25. Development workers say there's the need to have a change in perception from seeing youths as perpetrators or victims of violence to focusing on the positive roles they can play in preventing conflicts, peace building, as well as contributing to national socio-economic development.
You never know what your tweet or your message is saying to encourage somebody. So that's the whole idea of use social media responsibly and also build positive networks on social media.
We must empower our youths to play constructive, unifying and innovative roles and fully include them in the country's development process.
John Oku, a serving corps member, is an industrial physicist turned entrepreneur. His goal is to impart skills of solar installation, which he learned while at the NYC orientation camp, to more youths.
If I can get fund or capital, to improve on it, like have a shop where I can also sell the materials.
We are putting all hands on deck and all resources available to us to restructure youth investment fund.
Experts say with government scaling up interventions for youths through the establishment of youth enterprise clusters, restructured youth investment fund, and the Nigerian Youth Academy, the future appears brighter for millions of youths in Nigeria like John Oku, who is not only self-reliant, but an employer of labor with marketable skills for export. Olayinka Ojo, NTA News.
Thank you, Olayinka, for that. And let's begin our conversation. We have in the studio Mr. Andrew Abu. He's a youth activist. Thank you very much for joining us, Mr. Abu.
Thank you for having me.
Let's begin with the theme, which I find very interesting, Clicks to Progress, Youth for Digital Pathway, talking about sustainable development. What would you say regarding that, especially when you look at the demography of youths, which the MPC puts at 64% of the population?
Yeah, once again, thank you for having me. I mean, everybody knows that the youth in Nigeria are very resilient. They're very developmental in nature, and technology is the way to go right now across the globe. And I think as much as we have a lot of Nigerians that can afford to put data on their phone, people are seeing how they can make the best out of what they can get from technology. And I mean, there are a lot of online marketing and online sales that happens within that technological space, and a lot of people are cashing in on it, because at the end of the day, if you feel that you don't have what you can invest in, or you don't have the capital to have something on ground, I mean, there are opportunities that are out there for people to be able to leverage on when it comes to technology. And I think the Nigerian youth has pretty much leveraged on that opportunity, and they've made the best out of it so far. Be it short clips on maybe comedy and entertainment and what have you. In that regard, I think the Nigerian youth is making the best out of it.
Well, it's one thing, Mr. Abu, to position yourself and also take advantage of opportunities when they present themselves. Looking at federal government's initiative on digital skills, promoting digital skills for young people, we saw the target of 1 million youths, for digital skills in partnership with the private sector. That's the FG Alert Skill Innovation. How would how can youths rather take advantage of opportunities like that?
Yeah, so I think what is more important is creating an enabling environment, for the average youth in Nigeria. And I think the government is doing pretty much that. But I think we need to scale up on the level of information, that is out there for people to, leverage on these opportunities, that are out there, and because at the end of the day, the government business is to provide enabling environment for people to be able to operate in, and which is what at every given point in time we'll charge the government to do as a people and as a citizen, because like I said earlier, Nigerians are very innovative people. You'll be shocked at the amount of monies people are making from technology, social media, all that is around that ecosystem, and it just takes for you to think outside the box and see how you can do something for yourself, because at the end of the day, you have a lot of young people that are just dependent on, everybody wants to get a job with government or something. I mean, there are a whole lot of things that technology have brought, to our doorsteps that we can leverage on and better our lives as individuals.
And Mr. Abu, you agree with me that youths are already taking advantage of that. Nigerian youths are very brilliant when it comes to adapting to new technologies they see. But investment is very important. You see a young person come up with an innovation. We saw that report earlier. Now, for people like such persons, that's a young couple, what kind of investment, will be recommended for them?
So I know of a fact that the communication and digital economic minister have set, some technological hubs, where, young Nigerians can be trained and also walk in and see, how they can, make the best out of those places. I know one of such place was one of the properties of government that was burnt in Kanu,
One of the innovation hubs.
Yeah, one of the innovation hubs. Yeah, and you see, we need as a people and as citizens, we need to appreciate the efforts of government and also see how things that government have put together for us, how we can leverage on them. Because, I mean, as we speak today, that place, for it to come back, or for it to start functioning is going to take another maybe 6 months or maybe even 1 year. So we must also, as a people, understand how important it is for us to protect, properties and things that have been, built to help us to foster, greater cause and better cause for us, for ourselves as individuals. So yes, at every point in time, I think we need to encourage government and also hold government to, propagating what they are doing and allowing for people to key into these projects without bottlenecks here and there. So yeah, I think pretty much the government is trying. Yeah, we expect them to do more. And I know that if we show level of, cooperation and also partnership, of course, and tell government where they need to improve and the things that, the average young person in the country needs to leverage on, I think it will go a long way to help government in their planning to tailor things that, will better the lives of young people across the country. Okay,
Mr. Abu, particularly my previous question has to do with poaching talented minds who are innovative in nature. I remember NTA set a standard, the Science and Tech Expo. Every year we get to bring young people, brilliant, from secondary, tertiary, to come and display their innovations. Now that's NTA doing its part, promoting such talents. Now when such talents are discovered, my question is, how can they be poached? What would be your recommendation? So they're being harnessed, because when you don't harness this talent, it just goes to waste.
So at this point, my recommendation would simply be that there must be a private and public partnership, and even international partnership. So we can have a pool of people that have, excelled in such programs where they can be moved, if possible, even giving international, not just recognition and involvement, giving involvement internationally where they can, prove on their skill, and, government and private sector can see how they can also financially assist, individuals, that fall within that, category. So I would encourage for that public and private partnership at every point in time, for us, because at the end of the day, government can't do these things all by themselves, So the work of government, the job of government is to provide an enabling environment and to ensure that, at least, that part of our political, economic space, can make progress.
Okay, and talking about progress, talking about laying the foundation, right? A lot of young people today are being taught coding in schools. Schools are taking advantage of that. But in your findings as a youth activist, especially beginning from the foundation level, talking about the primary level, how can young people be encouraged, even the girl child, be encouraged to, go into science and technology?
So I think, first off, the level of how much people need, the financial implication of it must be cut short by government, at least made available, to the average Nigerian to be able to afford. So a lot of times you see a lot of kids are interested in, participating in coding or learning how to, get involved in the process of coding. Unfortunately, it takes you need a laptop or probably a tab, to be able to do that. Yeah. How affordable are these things for the average, Nigerian? So government must see how they can, make these things available for almost 0 naira for the average person who is interested, because first things first, you have to be interested in, these things before we can even know the people that these things can be tailored towards, because the interest is very important, because a lot of times people are not interested in a lot of things. But for those that are interested, there should not be any shortcomings, especially when it comes to, financial implication. So that is why I expect, that partnership I earlier talked about between the government and the private sector to, see how they can make these things available and, affordable for the average Nigerian.
Indeed, and parents too should allow their children, adapt to this new technology.
Absolutely.
No matter the age, just allow them explore, right?
Absolutely, I agree.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Andrew Abu. He's a youth activist. Thank you so much for your thoughts on Panorama.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome. Let's take a break. We're back shortly. Please don't go anywhere.
In a land of peace and harmony, we cherish our freedom and unity. But around the world, we've seen how protests can spiral into chaos. What starts as a peaceful protest can sometimes end in anarchy, tearing communities apart.
My advice to these young people is please do not take us back to those harrowing days.
So those who experience it will run away from it.
Let's learn from these experiences. Let's value dialogue over destruction. Together, we can build a brighter future. Let's choose unity. Let's choose peace. Join us in the Peaceful Future Initiative, because together we can make a difference.
Imagine lovely meals you can cook with these ingredients. You spend heavily, but no guarantee of a tasty meal. Not making a right choice of seasoning cube can ruin your meal, money, and confidence. For a tasty meal, do not compromise. Choose Gold.
Use Terra Gold for the rich, consistent taste your loved ones crave for. Good for soups, stews, and jollof. Terra Gold. One cube, endless possibilities.
Thank you for staying tuned. President Bola Tinubu congratulates Rena Wakama, the Tigress coach, on her recognition as the best coach of women's basketball at the Paris 2024 Olympics. The Nigerian women's basketball team, the Tigress, put up a spectacular performance at the Olympics, becoming the first African basketball team to play in the quarterfinals at the Olympic Games. President Tinubu states that the recognition of Miss Wakama 32 by the International Basketball Federation further ascends her well-established leadership qualities and dedication to excellence. The president commends the team, the coach, and all those who played a part in the unprecedented feat at the Olympics, and joining them not to relent or become crestfallen, but remain resilient and determined for greatness. President Tinubu affirms that winning trophies and medals is the ultimate goal in competitive sports, but nothing trumps the place of good sportsmanship, discipline, and sacrifice shown by all those who held the Nigerian flag at the Olympics Games. The president thanked the Nigerian contingent and wishes them success in their respective endeavors. And talking sports, let's get more update.
Following Team Nigeria not securing a single medal at the just concluded 2024 Paris Olympic Games, Sports Minister John Enoh said he has declared a rigorous examination of the constitutions governing Nigerian Sporting Federation in preparation for the imminent elections. He said the push